The first round of the 2026 NFL Draft is over, and today in Madden 26, I'll be giving each NFL team their draft picks. I'll be scoring a touchdown with a bunch of the offensive players and playing with some of the defensive players that were selected high in the draft before putting every team into a full season simulation to see if any of these new rookies will help their team win the Super Bowl. Beginning with the #1 overall pick to the Vegas Raiders, Fernando Mendoza. Okay, Mendoza, you're getting us started in this video. You started off the NFL Draft. Everybody is excited for Mendoza to go to the Raiders. Won the Heisman Trophy, was the first overall pick. That one to complete his first pass in the NFL. And he won the national championship. He's only the 4th quarterback ever to do that from what I can see, at least from what they were showing in the NFL Draft last night. I think it was Burrow, Jameis Winston, and Cam Newton have done that before, and now add Mendoza to that list. And he's going to take Michael Mayer for a first down. It's not going to be Brock Bowers, not going to be Ashton Genty. It's going to be Mayer that gets the first completion from Fernando Mendoza. Raiders are really going to have to protect this guy, though. The offensive line was horrible last year. The amount of times Geno Smith was getting sacked, and then the amount of times Ashton Genty couldn't do anything on the ground because he was getting hit behind the line of scrimmage. But Mendoza going to be able to use his legs for 12. They're definitely struggling in the wide receiver department. I would try to snag one if I was them in the draft. And the offensive line already showing their colors as we go down for a 13-yard loss. Pick up this first down on a 4th and forever. Bowers is there. Bowers has it, and Bowers has the first. Let's see if Mendoza is going to have his first NFL touchdown pass on this play. It's Genty out of the backfield, makes a nice grab. And the Raiders had their best drive of the entire season last year right here. Next up for the Arizona Cardinals, we got Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love's going to have to put the team on his back. I'd say this is a guy in a year or two that's like in contention for the #1 overall pick in fantasy football. He's an elite prospect like a Bijan Robinson, like a Jahmyr Gibbs. The team is going to run through him, especially this upcoming year. Now, I don't know how great he's going to be because of a situation like Ashton Genty, where their offensive line was not good with the Raiders. He didn't do great in his rookie season, even though he was great in college. Could be the same case here with Jeremiah Love, but he can be a home run hitter if they can just block for him a little bit, which is exactly what he does right there. But once the Cardinals get a little bit better, that's when he's really going to explode on the team. Next up will be Carnell, Tate, receiver out of Ohio State to the Tennessee Titans. The Titans slowly but surely improving this roster. Wan'Dale Robinson was added in free agency. Now Carnell, Tate. Tate going deep. And Tate secures that catch. Just want to make sure he holds on out of Ohio State. You got an elite route runner that can run everything on the route tree. I didn't watch a lot of college football last year, but Ohio State always plays in big games, and those are the college games I like to tune into. So I have known Carnell Tate for a few years, especially because I used to do videos where I put the best college team into Madden to see if they could beat the worst NFL team. So I've actually commentated a few games with Carnell Tate. And this one right up the seam is going to be 2 catches for a touchdown for Carnell Tate. Cam Ward's got to be ecstatic right now to get him on the team. We got the Saints' #1 draft pick this year, Jordan Tyson. We'll see if the Saints can build on the good second half they had at the end of the season last year with Tyler Shugg, who really impressed. He wound up being maybe the best rookie quarterback last year. He might have had the best season when it was all said and done over guys like Cam Ward and Jackson Dart, who started the season pretty solid, but Shugg really was solid at the end of the year in the second half. The Saints probably won more games than they lost in the second half of the year last year. But we'll see if Jordan Tyson can help. They definitely need more wide receiver help, especially if Chris Olave goes down to injury. Tyson through the middle, and Jordan Tyson will find the end zone. Guys, we're not on a high difficulty today. We're just showing off these rookies on their new teams. That was a really solid touchdown, though, for Jordan Tyson. Cut across the middle, got a foot race to the end zone. He won. Next, we're going to have my Giants, who drafted Arvel Reese. Now, you guys are going to have to forgive me for being absolute garbage when it comes to playing as a defensive lineman, because I never play as a defensive lineman. Now, Arvel Reese, I think he's like a Swiss Army knife type player. Again, like I said, I don't watch a ton of college. He did play at Ohio State, so I've seen him a little bit. But I'm pretty sure he could play a little bit of linebacker and a little bit of edge. So he could do both. I'm shooting right up the middle, though, and I'm strip sacking Dak Prescott. All right. I just realized this roster still has Dexter Lawrence on this team. Dexter Lawrence is no longer a part of the New York Giants. That's my apologies there for having that. But Arvel Reese with a strip sack to get us started. I've seen other Giants fans, probably people that know more about college football than me. Some people are mad about the draft that we had. I mean, we got a solid offensive lineman, which we obviously, you could never have enough good offensive linemen. And then a nice pass rusher that could also play linebacker. So what's really not to like? I think Sonny Styles people wanted, Caleb Downs people wanted, who are 2 really good players as well. Both went to Ohio State too. But I mean, these guys are pretty good, I'm thinking. You guys can feel free to let me know in the comments down below. I know everything about the NFL, but when it comes to college, I'm a bit of a casual, I won't lie. And speaking of Sonny Styles, he's up next for the Washington Commanders. What is unfortunate, though, is that the other players that us Giants fans wanted, like Sonny Styles or Caleb Downs, are in the division still. They're still in the NFC East as we force another strip sack with a defensive player in this video. That one on Josh Allen with Sonny Styles. So if Arvel Reese doesn't pan out, and I forgot the offensive lineman's name that we drafted, but that's just because I'm a casual when it comes to college players. But if they don't work out and guys like Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs are like Hall of Fame type players one day, that's not going to be good. If we can get the Bills off the field, we will move on. We're going to drop back into coverage here with Styles. This camera angle is not great for knowing where players are at, but I'm the closest to the ball, and we force a 3 and out. Next up, we head to Cleveland, where the Browns drafted Casey Conception. Maybe the best name I've ever heard. Browns fans, you got to think you have a bright future on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, look at the players here. Judkins last year a rookie, Fannin a rookie, Sanders a rookie. Jerry Jeudy, was he like 27, 28? So he's not really considered young at that point. I mean, I'm 28, but I'm not an NFL player. So for NFL players, 28 isn't really young anymore. Casey Conception, though, might wind up being the #1 receiver. They got weapons in Cleveland on the offensive side of the ball. I think there's a bright future on offense, and obviously that defense is always good as long as you got Myles Garrett and some other guys. Wide receivers have definitely showed out already in this video, and I heard it's a great wide receiver draft, and we are seeing a lot of players get picked, and Conception with a second straight grab. The coolest name ever. On NFL Red Zone, you're going to hear Scott Hansen. He's like, hey, look at breakout receiver rookie Casey Conception down the field for a Cleveland Brown touchdown. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be cool. I'll remember this video when that happens actually in real life. And there's the touchdown in the game for Casey Conception. We head to Philadelphia, where we had a heist of the century. Mai Lemon goes to Philly. So Mai Lemon was called by the Pittsburgh Steelers to tell him they were going to draft him. Then all of a sudden he gets a call from Philly, from the Eagles, and they wind up drafting him. Why do the Eagles always get to do this? Feels like the Eagles always dominate the draft, free agency, trades, all this stuff. They always get the better of teams somehow, and they do it again, this time at the expense of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Absolutely crazy. And it was the Cowboys' fault. The Cowboys traded up or traded back. That way the Eagles could get this pick. I also think this means that A.J. Brown is a gun. I think this 100% means that A.J. Brown will be off the Philadelphia Eagles come next season. Post June 1st is what we're seeing out of... Oh, what a hurdle! And he gets in. Excuse my hiccup there. Mai Lemon probably going to be that wide receiver 2 after A.J. Brown gets traded. The Rams opted to go with a backup quarterback in the first round, Tai Simpson out of Alabama. If you're a Rams fan, what are you thinking of this pick, them planning for the future? Obviously, Matthew Stafford has had a history of injuries. That is well documented. Even going into last season, they weren't 100% sure that he was going to play due to a back injury. Now, he did play every game and the playoff games and win MVP. So there's the other side of that, but I'd say maybe he has like another year or 2 left. Maybe he wants to call it a career after that. But this is going to be a situation where Tai Simpson is going to sit behind him for a year, 2, however many years Matthew Stafford wants to continue playing. It's going to be his team. But then it's going to be in the hands of Tai Simpson. And with McVay, he's going to be able to craft Tai Simpson into the quarterback he wants for the future. We have seen things like this happen time and time again. Quarterbacks get drafted while they have a star quarterback already, like Jordan Love with Aaron Rodgers. Lamar Jackson gets drafted with Joe Flacco. Alex Smith is doing well. Oh, Devontae Adams, what a catch. That's a touchdown for Tai Simpson. What a grab that was. Guys like Alex Smith get replaced by Patrick Mahomes over time. But when you draft a quarterback when you want to rather than need to is a really good thing to do. For the Seattle Seahawks, we have another running back out of Notre Dame that went first round in the draft, Jadarian Price. That's probably why the Seahawks did not mind letting Kenneth Walker walk. No pun intended there. JSN throw me a block. Jadarian Price can come in and be either the backup running back to Zach Charbonnet in the meantime, or maybe he becomes the starting running back in Seattle. But 2 Notre Dame backs go in the first round, and that was an awesome run. Next team we're going to cover is the New York Jets, and they had 3 first-round draft picks. David Bailey, 2nd overall pick. They went ahead and drafted a wide receiver, Omar Cooper, late in the first round, and they also drafted Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end, at 16, I believe. So the Jets... Can there be some optimism, Jets fans, for you guys next year? I don't know. But you got some new weapons on offense. Amari Cooper to go with Garrett Wilson to go with Breece Hall and Sadiq. So the highest rated tight end in the draft they get. One of the top rated wide receivers in the draft they get. If Geno Smith can be what he was in Seattle a couple years ago, maybe they can make some noise. The AFC East is a really solid division, though, with the Bills and the Patriots. It's going to be tough to overtake them. But it's about time the Jets get lucky for a season and do something incredible. And we're going to take Sadiq maybe on a contested grab. I thought he'd make it. Not only did they add offense, as Sadiq is going to get open. Chino, you better hit him, and he does. Sadiq with the touchdown to catch from Omar Cooper. We didn't even cover their top draft pick yet. Let's see if Dalen Bailey can make some noise. We've done pretty well with the defensive players in this video, surprisingly. Normally, I stink using defensive players, but that pressure made Jalen Hurts throw that away quick. Comment down below, who do you think is winning Rookie of the Year, both on offense and on defense? And I'm pretty sure they had him have a really nice spin move, and that's picked off by the Jets. The Jets didn't have an interception all of last year, and we get it. David Bailey already making plays, even if he's not actually tackling, sacking, or anything like that. And the final player I'm going to cover in this video before heading to the season Sam is Caleb Downs to the Dallas Cowboys. There's no denying that the Cowboys defense was atrocious last year after trading Micah Parsons. Now with some help in the secondary and Caleb Downs, and also using another first-round draft pick on Malachi Lawrence to help with rushing the quarterback, maybe they can start to make some moves because their offense was awesome last year. Dak, CD, George Pickens, Javonte Williams. They had an awesome offense last year, but their defense could not stop anything. Caleb Downs will have to come downhill and make a tackle, and he does it. What a tackle it was. That was a heck of a play by Caleb Downs. Oh my goodness, and they score a touchdown. Tucker Kraft. In the Super Bowl, guys, the Rams lost to the Bills 48-26. The defensive Rookie of the Year was Sonny Styles of the Washington Commanders. However, the offensive Rookie of the Year is Tetairoa McMillan because these rookies are mixed in with last year's rookies in Madden in this season sim. Guys, if you're looking for this roster, you're going to go to the Madden Download Center on PS5 or Xbox Series. You're going to type in Green Machine Sam, search by username. The 2026 NFL Draft is the roster you want. And that does it for this video, guys. Check out some other videos on the channel. Like, subscribe. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.